what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Back out here once again. Another episode of Shyt Talkin Time. It's your boy Girls, if not me, who else? Got a very exciting show for you guys today. Got a lot of interesting topics with a lot of things floating around the internet lately. And that's the first thing we get into. Give our opinion on what's going on out here in the world. Um, First topic I want to talk about, of course, we touched before on that Will Smith new podcast, Class 88. Finally listened to the first episode with Jazzy Jeff. I like it. I hate to sound like a Joe boy, but I do like that and anything both put together. But his stuff just seems so genuine, and I'm glad that the first episode was with Jazzy Jeff. That definitely, showed it's good to see that connection with people with their day ones because a lot of people ain't with them. So that was definitely a cool thing that I liked it. Um, Definitely congratulations, good brother. Um, as far as next topic, everybody else been talking about this Joe Smith stuff. I mean, I don't know too much to talk about it. I guess for me, I don't like to focus too much on the negative, but more the positive. As far as the whole thing with his wife, all that stuff, I'm kind of like, okay, damn. I would like to explain. I feel bad for Joe himself. Um, we talk about somebody that was a pretty good basketball player. I'm not gonna say he was a Michael Jordan Hall of Fame or so on and so forth, but he was very good. Did very well with a lot of teams. So after he got pushed out after the lockout, I mean, I guess that could have did something to anybody. Um, a lot of cats during that lockout, you know, that do something to you. I mean, basketball players it's just like a job. Even though you have a contract, that contract is split out between games. So if you're not playing, you're not getting paid. Now, if you're a LeBron James or a Kobe or Jordan, okay, you got sneaks for sale. Other ventures. Probably players like Joe Smith didn't have like stores and houses and things like that, as we can see. And people forget that just because people got money, that makes them smart. Or because, oh, they got money, they're a businessman. They should have invested. They should have tucked away. They should have known what was going to come. Nah, he probably never thought it would be a dark day again. I mean, he was in pretty good standing when he was playing, pretty good shape when he left. I guess every team just decided to go a different route. So he never got picked up again. And that's where he ended up where he was at. Now, the thing, how he ended up where he ended up at, and a lot of guys out here better respect that. Now, if he met a stripper, call girl, I'd have heard her called a few things. Now, if she met him and been taking care of him, where is his frustration? And when Shorty kind of fucked him up, like, oh, he worked for my company. So it's like, you don't even own shit, bro. So it's like you left her house. Like that's weird. That's why I say it's too many variables. So I'd rather just stick on Joe himself. But that probably was a very hard mental blow. I get picked back up. And a lot of people don't understand that if you're not like a powerhouse player, there isn't no life at the basketball. You're not getting a job to go sit up there and talk about it. You're not getting the best job you'll probably get is welcoming people at a car dealer or a casino, stuff like that. They'll hire you to draw attractions, but you still have to have some type of name. And, you know, he didn't have it. Like I said, I feel bad. I mean, he was a professional basketball player, so I don't think he finished college. I don't think he picked up a bunch of degrees to create a life after basketball. And feel bad to see that's what happened. I mean, we look at these guys on the court and think they superheroes, superstars, and realize that things can happen where they could be mere mortals just like us. I mean, we'll be surprised how much money the average person has more than somebody who was famous at one time. I mean, it would shock you. But I mean, I knew that for years because it's a business. If you're not working, you're not getting paid. If you're not getting casted in a movie, you're not getting paid. If you're not getting casted on TV shows, you're not getting paid. If you're not sitting on somebody's bench, you're not getting paid. So even being a famous person, even with music, if you're not making relevant music, the label is not dropping you. You're not getting paid. So for years, I always knew the concept: if famous or unfamous, if you ain't working, you're not getting paid. It's just that by being famous, you get paid a higher level of money than the average person. But think about it, the average person never start working because they ain't had your success. So that's why I say the phrase is like the average person has more money than celebrities and superstars now. It's possible. Business and stuff like that. That's why you see a lot of average people hanging around celebrities. They got money like they got money now. It's a new day and age, but everybody don't be able to keep that foot in. Everybody don't be able to keep up with it. So for that reason, you end up with a few people that come across situations like this. So I mean, but don't do him like that because he's not the only NBA baller that's broke. He's just the only one with situations that's swirling around social media right now. So he's the topic of the joke. But let's be mindful that he is going through a healing process from being stressed out from his past. So let's just not pile a bunch on him. Like they like to pile the people till they break. And I don't like that. I mean, like TMZ, ain't none of y'all worried if that man good mentally. They just worry about the story they can get because they know Shorty gonna get up there and talk. But some people say it could be a ploy to get money back generated towards his way because going viral will make you money. It'll get you TV show interviews. Shoot, that's a couple 100,000 just by being a viral person. Even if you don't become rich or continue on, you'll still get a couple 100 grand. 20,000 an interview for TMZ, 10,000 for this platform, 10,000 that builds up. So I mean, it could be a money grab. You never know. But right now, until we feel otherwise or find out otherwise, we're gonna have to keep playing it like we don't know. So I'm gonna keep it with I'm about to say, and you'll see how the stuff transpire. Um, Next, coming from Philly, I gotta put this out there. But James Harden finally left the Philadelphia Sixers and joined the Clippers, and they came through my man crib, and Brown and them beat that ass the other night. As far as the whole James Harden situation, what can I say, man? Y'all NBA players, y'all new younger NBA players, y'all are like the bigger divas than the older ones. Like I used to think that the older NBA players were divas and they get people kicked off teams and do stuff like that. The way that I feel about the NBA, you are lucky to make it. I'll be so amazed at watching basketball because I'm watching some guys that get paid millions of dollars to do what kids get up and love to go to the basketball court every day and do. They just found a way to transform it from a schoolyard in a school to a multi-million-dollar, but you made it there. That's the most important thing. Somebody like me, I can't say that championships isn't everything. I can't say, scoring titles isn't everything, but at the end of the day, it's still a job. So if I get drafted to this team, I'm their employee. I'm going to show up to work, even if I don't want to be there. I'm still going to show up to work. I'm still going to give you 50 while we work it out. But once we work it out, I'm out. As a professional athlete, you have to carry a certain sense of elegance. And a lot of them say they don't have to. We regular people. No, you don't make regular people money. So you're not regular people. Regular people are not hanging out with celebrities and superstars every night, driving hundreds of $1,000 cars, $1 million mansions. No, you're not regular, dickhead. You're a person that got hired to do a job. I'm not saying that you are a possession of that team, but you are an employee. The same way you go to a job, fill out an application, get hired, start working, you got to be there when you're on schedule. Your schedule is when it's time to play. No matter how you feel, if I'm sick, don't feel like it, just one of them days, I still got to get up and go to work. I ain't going to make no money. So for me, it's like, I don't respect when they do this sitting out and not playing. Like, bro, that's not professional. And then it's like when it's time for you to get that last big bag before your career is over, you're not gonna get it because you done made so much miles from motherfuckers trying to be a dick to get off of a team. And then you don't want to be that bull that everywhere that don't suit you or everywhere that you get an attitude, you're ready to go. This is like summer league, bro. This is not the NBA. That's not how I see a professional handle themselves. And I'm not an NBA player. I'm just an entrepreneur. So I respect the business and I respect the pieces. I mean, the NBA makes billions of dollars to pay y'all millions. People like me get up and go to work every day at companies that make billions of dollars that pay us hundreds. And they get up happy. So some of the times I really agree that, sometimes in situations, y'all professionals or y'all rich motherfuckers really need to humble yourself. Because the one point y'all gotta understand at the end of the day, anybody, regular person would kill to have your life. They'll beat the shit out y'all to get your life. So you always gotta keep that in play. So, you know, on to the next topic. Everybody is getting these, dramatic wind chills out of nowhere. It's just whole cold front sweeping across the country. So yeah, I feel bad for you guys. Stay warm, man. Down in the south, we be cold in the morning, but by 11 o'clock, we back 70, 80. But the reason I said something about that is I just want people to pay attention. Back in the beginning of the summer, I wasn't on the platform. I was just making a video because sometimes, I get information and instead of typing it, I just make a quick little video and then just watch them later on. That's how I put together some shows sometimes. I just be scrolling and come across stuff. So the reason I came across it was people were saying that pay attention to the pattern of the weather. Pay attention to the pattern of the good weather, the bad weather, the droughts. And if y'all notice over the last few years, it is starting to become systematic. The problem areas and weather are only becoming crop damaging. Everybody know the last pulls and the last hee-haw of the summer before your crops is the end of the summer. But we go through a 2 month drought. Half of the crops die. Now, if you turn around, it's about the time, probably a little bit over, but it's time for them to pull the final yields. Now we get a cold front. You know how much crops probably got lost this week across the country? A lot. And some of the times, like I tell people, they want to say global warming and stuff like this. I mean, I'm older. They've been talking about global warming since I was in elementary school. They start recycling when I was in like second grade. That's when you couldn't throw plastic away. They start giving out recycling bins and stuff like that. So that was supposed to help the ecosystem. And then it went from the ecosystem to the weather. And then it went to ice glaciers and all this other stuff melting. First, we was going to get over flooded because the icebergs was melting and creating too much water. Now we got places with not enough water. Like, y'all follow the pattern of the bullshit they've been feeding the general public over the last 15 to 20 years, not to tell us what's going on or what's going to happen. Now, my opinion, I'm not in the inner circle and I'm not a whistleblower. These are all just my theories that I say. I've been doing a lot of studying on this device called HARP. I think it's HAARP. Allegedly, it's a weather control machine that was invented by Harvard, the college Harvard, yes. But it was supposed to be something that they did to be able to create weather. They got documentation dating all the way back to 94 with them building in that area where it's supposed to be held. The actual device, from what I hear, is held in Alaska somewhere. Um, they said it looks like some type of tall antenna. But if any of y'all seen the movie Geostorm, that tall antenna probably connects with something that they got up there in space. Because they constantly shooting something up there, they constantly doing something, and the people who don't understand is when they sent the first man to the moon, people never came back. So from back in the 60s to this present day, there has always been someone in space. And nobody never interviews them people or talks to them when they come home and none of that stuff. Nobody ever pays one to that. So they can tell you what they see being up there for years or days or weeks or however long they spent up there. People never talk about that. And that's what we need to start getting to the bottom of. I mean, a lot of times people think that they only tell us about the brilliant scientists who put the expedition together. But the scientist is coming back home to finish his research. What about the dudes that staying up there in the space station? And I mean, what about cats who have probably spent their whole lives up there in space stations for the sake of science? And people don't understand how far the human man will go for the sake of science. We have been dying and killing ourselves for the sake of science. So you really don't think it's a stop or a beginning? No. People do anything for the sake of science to prove or unprove. So that's where it gets dangerous at. But those are the things that swirl around my head. Like why we don't never get firsthand or interviews with none of the people who spent their time up there. And they tell us they had Planet X that's supposed to be just like Earth, oxygen, all this good stuff. That was 12, 13 years ago. I haven't heard nothing else about X. Then they say it's another planet behind these planets and all this other stuff. I mean, for me, myself, honestly, even when I remember when somebody was telling me about that picture, they used to have a satellite image where Google, you can go and look at space anytime you want. And I remember they had beliefs that meant that picture was manufactured. It wasn't a live feed like they said it was, and you couldn't see it anytime. Just like I'm gonna give you another funny thing. Back in like the early thousands, people used to be like, Google my crib, Google my crib. You can see my crib. And then people realized that them photos was years old when Google was lying. So what that satellite was active for the world to use whenever they wanted. They can see live in real time. Yeah, I know. People forget. Like I say, these big box companies, it's just like when they say a nigga rat, you hang around him. Or a nigga a bitch and you look over him being a bitch because he rich. Or he can offer you something. It's the same as that thing. These big box people lie, 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 lie. And they get so big and irreplaceable that they lies just dwell away. Or it's like they never said it or did it. Never had to answer, never be rectified, and just spew out stuff and it's cool. So that's the things, like I said, like that's the type of shit be swirling around my head because the way that the way that I do things, I do everything in systems. So I have a set amount of numbers. I know that each month I need this number, give or take. I can get more, but I can't get less. I need this number. When I started to notice that number was slowly trickling up, 60, 90, 120, that number started to get higher. That's when I started doing the research, looking into how much was wholesales and meats, how much was cattle selling for now, um, how much slaughterhouse rates charge. I go straight to what we need the most because people forget that if you want to build, you have to hurt. And we as American people have weathered a lot that they have thrown at us. That's why they keep continuing to do what they do to us because we are that strong that we can weather the storm and they gonna keep making it rain. So when I started to realize that, I started looking into produce and meats, pause, seeing how the manufacture process, how much it was costing, did the price of that go up? And yes, everything went up. The feed that feeds the animal, the person who cuts it and slaughters it, their rates went up. The packager went up. Even the cost of the cattle or chickens and stuff, all of them went up. Everything went up. I'm not saying it jumped up through the roof, but it jumped up enough for me to notice. So when it started hitting the stores and I started seeing high price packs of chicken, like that shit was special. That's why I had to go and see what was going on. But my opinion of what I think it is, they gave us a long run, but not really giving a major raise to the economy. They raised it some, but they did never raise it really. They raised the incomes, but they didn't really boost the economy like people was thinking they was, jack the prices up. So what I think was after the pandemic, they gave out so much money and people did so wrong with it. Um, everybody fucked it up. So for that reason being is they had to find a way to make us pay. So you raise property values, you raise the interest on loans. So now you get a mortgage sky high. Everything is fucked up. The price of food is higher. Gas prices are going up and down. Car parts are through the roof compared to what they were just 3, 4 years ago. The simple stuff is being bothered. Food, car parts, gas. It's people gotta remember they right now they're hitting us with crippling blows. The little blows they was giving us before was cool, but now they like, no, we gotta give them that body shot where they feel it. Yeah. But once again, us taking that body shot of weathering that storm with everything being raised, we still surviving. So guess what? All we did was let them know that this new hike is fine, cool. They gonna leave it there because so many people still survive with the hype. Like people think the simple numbers and stuff is not important. They are. The price hike that they did between last year and this year's stuff would be enough to start something crazy like some sorts of recession. Definitely. And a part that people forget, and I don't know why I don't know other people talk about this, but I am. We forget because they say the government is rich, the government is this, the government is that. The government gives out hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe even trillions of dollars a year in EBT around the country. So you think about it, if they got 20% of the country collecting EBT, that means 20% of the country, the government is fronting the load for their food is actually probably higher. because people don't forget that it's not just low income that gives you that tag to get EBT. So you figure the government is probably feeding about 30 to 40% of the families in America. People forget about that. See, these programs wasn't in play, niggas would be eating out of trash cans. If you really had to go to work and buy food, I came up in a house where we had to buy food. It was 5 or 6 of us, and my pop used to be a bitch. He said, "Man, my guy, that fucking grocery bill higher than any bill in the house." People think about what they eat. Your food is one of the biggest expenses you have. So if you luckily enough to have the government take care of that, you in luck. And a lot of people forget that, but they say the government doesn't help. I'm somebody that has to pay for insurance. That shit is expensive. And if you don't get one that's expensive, they're not gonna cover nothing. When you get EBT, you get free insurance. It's a blessing. So I mean, people forget a lot of the things that, you know, they do kind of give you a lot compared to just leaving you with nothing. The person who works had a job, they can't get none of that stuff. They not entitled to it. They make too much. So they gotta pay for every food article, food they buy. They don't get no breaks nowhere. And I mean, people forget about that sometimes. And I mean, that's some of the times why I say I thank Uncle Sam because there would be a lot of poor kids out here for one for EBT, a lot of hungry people. Same thing with insurance. It would be a lot of sick people because people ain't got that money to be paying no $50 a month per person or $190 a month for a family plan. Like that's expensive to a person who ain't making much. So it definitely is some upsides in the government. So no, I don't. I might have started out like a whistleblower because I don't know about the experiment size and how they carry, but that stuff, yeah, I definitely cannot give them that cool points on that one because that does help a lot of families. The services that they offer, I'm not going to never tell that lie. And I mean, as far as like they say, it's the taxpayer money, it's the taxpayers' money. I mean, I hate what y'all saying, man, but I bet you the amount of money if the government ever did like a super ultra audit to see how much the people tax money is actually putting in converts to what the government has and making or getting, you will be surprised. I guarantee you, man. I'm sorry. I understand there's a lot of people in the United States, but I know a lot of people don't pay taxes. And I know a lot of people work they stuff out so they don't have to, or they don't make enough, or don't pay what they supposed to. That's why it's a lot of cash and carry businesses for those specific reasons. And I know for a fact tons of them are, because everybody got a cash register. And know all of them ain't running a card. They only paying taxes on their card transactions because that's all they can prove. That's all digital. Cash does not prove nothing, not unless the government got a camera up there that watches every dollar you collect, which they don't. So the only money that they technically have to, file for is the money that they get in cash. That's how most stores be like, my card machine down. We got ATM machine over there though. That's why a lot of stores have ATM machines beside of it because they really want you to pay cash first because that money can stay off the books. The receipts get done so that way the owner know that the supplies they bought is how they made. Oh, I made $900 with that case of chicken. You sold X amount of wings, just come in a box. Okay, I got receipts that state that. But as far as what's time to do taxes, them cash receipts disappeared fast. So remember that. But, definitely good to be back. We took a couple days off. Got some things going on in life, but had to put something together for you guys. I mean, stay consistent. That's in everything. You ain't gonna get nothing without working. Um, Make sure you guys check out my other platforms that I also, be on Chronic Cinema. It's a full cannabis movie jokes. It's crazy. You can check it out on Spotify, um, iHeartRadio, YouTube, the actual live footage. I mean, we got a couple places to check it out. I'll put it down in my added links. I also have some other things coming up, a couple oldies that I'm about to bring back. But I mean, just keep watching because, like I said, I like to incorporate everything I do together. So that way it ties, and then that way people can see, hopefully somebody will see the empire that I'm trying to build. And a lot of times it'd be funny because like I tell people, man, being a forefather to a lot of this stuff online, but not getting the recognition outside of the paper, it'd be hard sometimes because I tell people all the time, man, it feels good to be able to just say, yo, I did that. Oh, for real. Now I be on podcasts and everything. People know the shit that I done did. But due to NDAs, which I talked about in one of my other videos, I'm not allowed to say for some time. The time will come where I will be able to say it's not for life. It's only a few years left on the NDA. And then I can actually tell people like, yo, bro, I did that. I did that. Yo, you see how this set up on the joint? I made it. Oh, that was my suggestion right there. And this is stuff that's still being used right now, still rocking and rolling. The reason why I still get royalties from it. But like my man and other people around me say, the royalties ain't nothing like going viral. The royalties ain't like being able to use that as a portfolio booster. And like I said, I got a pretty good portfolio because for a while, I was a little pissed off. I'm like, damn, I can't put nothing. Nothing. Ah, I was like, all right, cool. So that's when I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna just build another life around that. And so when I am able to talk about it, and say for instance, my next life would end up being super massive. And people could say, well, where did it start from? Well, it started from here, because now I could talk about it. Oh, I ended up here. I ended up with these group of people. These group of people told me about this situation that we can go help them out. I thought it was a joke when they told me who it was. Then the people came up and they was who they supposed to be. I was excited. It worked out. They had a ton of people, 50 people giving input. My input stood out. I ended up to a 10 table John. My idea stood out. I ended up to a 5 table, and then eventually I ended up to a 3 table setting, which was the big guy, another big guy, and me. And I was able to sit there and let them know what features would take it to the moon because I spent so much time on here and they was actually able to look at my account and see that I wasn't lying when I said like, yo, I spend X, Y, and Z. I done watched over 10, 15,000 joints. No, that's no way possible. Oh wow, you watched 18,000. I told you. And everything that didn't work right. Oh yo, this need to be repaired. I'm telling you, it be tripping. Yo, you need to take care of this. When y'all double up on y'all traffic, y'all gonna get crashes in this area. Y'all need to do this. Bang, bang, bang. And they sitting there like, cool, cool, cool. But before I go, the one thing why I tell people, this is a day and age where I didn't have to do what I did back then because being from the streets and being brilliant, people don't mind dealing with you now. They'll have you in their offices, on their yachts, at their all white parties. Back then, they didn't want to be around you. They love my mind, but the image and the past was what stood out the most because they didn't want to have me in a room or invite me in a room, and I started talking this to somebody with them bees in their pocket, and now we get in business, and it's like they learn me, and they like, oh, they was just dealing with anybody. Like, oh, okay, he didn't go to coding school. He didn't do none of this stuff. No, he didn't do none of that. He didn't, with this, I don't have any of the average credentials. I had the time that I spent with their platform, and then I had the time that I spent on teaching myself to build my platforms. And it tied together because I was trying to wonder why couldn't I put these features in my platform, but I'm not a coder or a person that had enough knowledge to add the stuff. I always paid somebody on the outside to add the stuff for me. And for me to give them that many ideas, because I'm telling you, I got like 15, 20 features. Yeah, on some shit y'all use every day. That's me. I didn't make the platform, but I made the features that y'all use. Yeah, like it's crazy, but that day will come. And I tell myself all the time, I'll probably be rich from something else. I won't really care because the royalty checks come forever, forever. They never stop, never. So it's like it's a lifetime royalty. And when people don't understand, when you end up in a position with lifetime royalties, it can be okay as long as my album is selling like it. Well, no, 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 no. I get this royalty for the rest of my life. It's a number attached to it, and it's a crazy number because at the time when I ended up in a situation, I was young and I was naive. And for me to get that money myself, I probably would have had a mansion and I would have been stupid Ferraris and I would have been broke as shit by now. So I had a little bit of money on my own. So when it arose, I asked him like, man, I need that cushion. Like, how can I structure it to get it for the long run? And they threw a bat out there, you know, da 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 for I think it's like 50 years. That's why I keep saying for the rest of my life. Now, if I live over 95, of course, but people gotta understand a royalty is just another sort of income. It don't have nothing to do with my job, any businesses. This is something that just drops out of nowhere. But that was a pretty cool thing. And at the time, the part that made me upset was the people that they let forefront and show, oh yeah, we do this. Oh yeah, I can show you how to make this. I can show you this. I can show you that. They got to do it. I was under NDA where I couldn't do none of that. See what I'm saying? They had me locked up on a lot for that money. And I didn't think at the time that being and showing people stuff was going to be the way because I figured they would have shut you down or sandbagged. And people don't understand back in that present day, nigga, it ain't no if you can't beat them, join them. You're not beating Google as shit, not unless they want you to. So at that time, I rolled with them. Not saying Google though, I did some work with them too. Cause like I say, when I be able to show you all the NDAs and y'all see the names that's tied to them, I mean, I give you some hints. A lot of them is together. They got bought out by the other ones. A few of them is still standalone. A couple of them is some empires, but I definitely glad that I had that opportunity. I'm glad that I took that email seriously. And I mean, it's just another way that I get to eat. I mean, this is how y'all get all this great
state of the art stuff, cool backgrounds, stuff and the other thing. But man, just know that I put my work in all the time. I ain't just pop up out of nowhere. I ain't just a dude with a microphone and let's go. Nah, bro. Nah, I've been here a long time. And my imprint is in the web forever. I don't think it'll ever be taken out. And the reason I say that is I was on Web 2.0 before it was invented. So some of the features that I offered really kind of sort of paved the way for the Web 2.0 era. But I'm gonna put it to bed because, like I said, if anybody call me on facts, I can't say nothing. I need that money. I would definitely say I can't tell you no more than what I told you. That's why I can't say nobody names. I can't tell you. I can't even sneak a feature in. If I sneak a feature in, I get hit. And like I said, I've been doing pretty good at it for the last 15 years to keep my mouth shut on it. And I ain't gonna start now. So thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this advice helps somebody. I hope my stories inspire somebody. That's all I try to do. Let people know that an average Joe like you can do anything you want to do. Just as long as you got the time, the resources, and you know how to use this keyboard and this computer, it can get you anywhere. Um, as always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Music Lady Dentistry to tell everybody business. Definitely love, know about us. And I'll see y'all guys next time.